So we have some other people joining us, I think.
Everybody who had an invitation was Travis, Trevor, Ashley, James, Mel, Albert, Jenny, and Jack.
Yeah, hopefully they all join us. You want to talk about the website for a minute while we're here?
Yeah.
By the way, I thought it was like right on the money in terms of like simplicity, but yet it pops and it has like some attitude to it. So I thought it really went well.
Good, good.
Before?
Pardon?
I said you've done website design before?
No, never. This was a first crack at it. I have been on the internet a fair bit though, and have looked at a lot of different crypto websites. So I tried to take some of the best things I saw from those and just bring it into this one and make it nice and streamlined. So yeah. I wish I had the skill set to actually like do the website, so it's not just on like a Keynote file. But from what I heard, Trevor has 15 years experience of working on WordPress. So I think if he can maybe run this now, it might be very helpful.
Oh, the two of you together. My experience has been you find people that can code and you find people that have like taste, and like they don't necessarily, they're not the same people. And it's hard to bundle them together. And if you do, they're very, very expensive. I've spent a lot of money on websites without a lot to show for it.
Yeah. It's crazy how expensive you got to pay for a good website. It's nuts.
Yeah.
I do have a minor graphics suggestion, unless I'm missing the point.
No.
I don't know if the image of the Hindenburg for the mothership is a good idea, only because a tiny flaw made it crash and burn and didn't get discovered for many years. So just to...
And actually, like, we don't need to keep throwing a bunch of memes at people all at the same time. You look sort of goofy and amateurish. So that's a good point. I took that over the last probably 18 months. I went through a long, grueling process of, I probably had 8 different brands like created in my mind. And I didn't know whether I was going like fully digital or like local and digital. And I had to like sort all that out. So the mothership was one idea, which is now like the Tao of Taos. And so I stole that idea and that image from a Led Zeppelin cover.
Oh, I think the term is perfect.
But
we could fine tune an image that fits it just right, but that's not an alien ship.
No, I think we already have it with Taos. I think that's real cute and like real concise. It'll be the symbol. It sort of has built into it the formula, and less is more in all things.
For sure.
So I'll sort of just talk. I think we might have some other people joining us, but Mel, I'll just tell you that my goal for the next, 7 to 10 days is basically just to open the store. And that means like, a soft opening, not a grand opening, but we have to sell pizza. We have to make sure the lights are on. We have to make sure the place looks right, and the tablecloths and all that, to use that analogy. And I think we do have our first investor. Hey, Jack.
Can you hear us, Jack?
Yep.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning to everyone else.
I'll just go back into it, Jack. I think we have our first investor who's going to be a partner. He wants to be sort of an insider. I said, look, you can be on the Zoom meeting today, or we're going to record it and we'll send it to you, or you can find it somewhere. And that'll be a big help. But in the meantime, we have to sort of open the store. And so when people engage us from like LinkedIn to Facebook to like, I have all my local friends here who know me, and they're like, what are you doing? How many followers you have? Give you an example. A young woman that helped me sort of sketched out for me what you really need for a social media presence. And she was like, if you don't have a Facebook page, you don't exist. Because people will eventually go there, and if there's nothing there, or you have a website that looks third rate, the whole thing implodes. So sort of like you go to a good restaurant,
Yeah.
and the bathroom's dirty, and you're like, I don't need to come back here. So, and none of that stuff's really hard. It's just a matter of there's so much of it. From Facebook, I haven't even used Instagram. I mean, every time I put up a TikTok, I can like hit the button and do Instagram, and I haven't even taken the time to do that. So one of the things someone could help us with is just be sort of social media czar, and go over everybody's LinkedIn, everybody's this, and everybody's Instagram, and look for the flaws and remove them. I mean, we're talking about moving some significant money around. And if it, like, I never thought I'd have 7,000 followers in like 2 weeks. I mean, it's crazy. But you know, if we blow up, we have to be ready for it, so to speak. I was talking to my friend from Oregon last night, and I said, you know, it's sort of like we're a band in Los Angeles, and like Motley Crue shows up and says, hey, we want you to come with us. And like, you either are ready or you're not. So, so opening the store is really just like our internet presence. From a technology standpoint, I think Jack and Garda is a really good place to start. And like, I don't think Garda is the be all end all to, you know, token creation, but they seem to be almost like to a user interface level where you don't really need to code very much. They seem to be cooperative. I tried to get moving with Tezos and Gnosis, which are respected protocols. And I could tell that they're just out, they just have more work to do than they really have resources, which is basically where we are. So, but Jack, if you come back to us and are like, well, no, I found this other thing over here, or I would rather do it myself, or if we did this in the code, we would have, you know, better results or whatever. But I'm sort of leaving that to Jack. And so Jack, I don't know if I said this since you've been on, but I think we have our first investor who will be a partner. So we're going to have some money. And I think that'll make life easier for us all, so that we can all sort of focus on our specialty. And the most dangerous part, I think, is, other than the security, and I think the wallets and the technology and so forth are very well evolved at this point. Early in the year, I heard an interview with Vitalik, and he said that he believes, like, in the year 2021, like, we'll go from level 2 to level 3 to like these user interface levels, so that like my mom can like buy crypto and move it around and send it to people, and it's like buying a book on Amazon. So that's all happening very, very quickly. The next big project is legal. So yesterday I exchanged emails with Matt Kaufman. I said, and I know he's a very busy guy, and it isn't like he's in a big tower in New York with like 40 people underneath him. So I said, do you have the bandwidth to help us with the DAO project this summer? I talked to him about it, emailed him about it like once a month leading up to this. And he's like, yeah, a little bit later in the summer, we'll be good to go. So while that's probably, you know, from my standpoint, the kinds of experience that I bring to the table is like in that space, like crowdfunding and those regulations, and sort of where the regulated securities world is now interfacing with the DeFi world. And they've been sort of apart. Like last year is considered DeFi summer. And I think I said in one of my TikToks, if you heard it or not, but I was explaining to a woman from Bain Capital what Uniswap was and how it was created and so forth. And she went, "Oh my God." And I was like, "Yeah, oh my God." Because what we're doing is a lot like Uniswap. Like, we're trying to make this really infinitely scalable fund structures. But lastly, the good news is we have, I've already communicated like a year ago to Matt, a structure, basically it's a hub and spoke structure. And we're just gonna drop the magic of the DAO idea on top of that. And so we should be ready to go. It's not like we have to reinvent, all this legal documentation for this brave new world. And lastly, he was on the governor's task force that wrote the legislation. So we have a guy, and I had lunch with him.
Oh, absolutely. Considering Wyoming.
Huh? Say
Oh, I
again.
was just saying, considering Wyoming's the maverick for creating the LLC for DAOs, that's great. Knowing that he was hand in hand with that.
Yeah, not a lot of people know that they also invented the LLC, and they are number 3 for corporate domicile behind Delaware and Nevada. Pretty good for a state with 500,000 people. So I also think, Mel, and you can add to this, I think the crypto culture fits with the Mountain West very well. And am I right about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the redoubters up here and they want alternative. They want the boom to happen right now.
Yeah. There's one of the other guys on the task force, his name is Tyler Lindholm. And he's the guy that came in with like the big Woody 10-gallon hat on. And he said a handful of states, I think Idaho was one of them, reached out to them and said, "Can you guys help us pass legislation just like yours?" And he said, yes. He said, but also Colorado reached out and he said, "No, we're not going to help you." Colorado is like the mountain state that, is now the blue state. And, it's like the evil twin to Wyoming, and with lots more people and lots more wealth and so forth. So that was a funny little anecdote.
It's funny, everybody thinks this is a red state, which it is. And it's a live and let live. And they're going to make I think they're going to make the best things work for them up here. And collectively, they want to take care of each other as well. So it aligns.
Yeah, I also make the comment that I also went to like the governor's, a couple of months after that, I went to like the governor's economic forum or something like that. And I was there all day just to meet people, and I went to a cocktail party, and I just wanted to get a feel. I also thought of moving there, which is not, I have another thing that I don't want to talk about right now just because it'll muddy the waters, but they also passed legislation to allow digital assets in insurance. And that's huge. And insurance is regulated by state commissions. That's a very, very ambitious project. I actually spoke to somebody from a big, famous private equity fund. I won't mention who, but where was I going with this? Oh, anyways, listening to them talk, if you think Wyoming is just like raw hair on fire, guns and the Bible, they're not like that at all. They're very pragmatic people. I really like the governor and the way they've handled even COVID, because I've been following them. And Matt, grew up on a farm, a ranch of 100,000 acres. Like, you screw that up and like you drive around and like have a lot of sick and wounded calves to deal with. And I really, appreciate that approach. It's not like belligerent or anything like that. It's very sound in the thinking. And Caitlin Long is like the queen of this whole movement. And of course, she's from there. If I may, Jack, could you give us like the State of the Union on what you've learned about token?
Let me interject quickly,
So,
just in case we run out of time because of my being too cheap to get Zoom yet. I will quickly turn
okay,
around, light another one, and we'll keep the conversation going. Okay?
Is it a half an hour we have?
We do.
Okay, that's perfect. because
All right. Also, I think my Wi-Fi is a little unstable, so I'm getting kind of a splotchy connection. But if you guys can hear me all right, that's all that really matters. So, all right. So working with Elizabeth at Garda. So certainly this is a process we can take on ourselves, say in the future, but at least for now, it's definitely a great idea to start with Garda to get our feet wet. So absolutely. So there are really 6 attributes to an ERC20 coin. Garda's listing feature that'll do it automatically lets you control 4 of them. Lets you control 4 of those attributes. So I'm still working with Elizabeth to make sure that all 6 are going to be on our stand to fit our needs best.
Sure.
So we're still hammering that out, but then that's going to be that initial $500 fee to actually create the tokens. And then from there, we can be able to start private sale.
Okay.
And then a step further from that, we also use Garda to initially list these tokens onto Uniswap. But with that listing, we will need to provide some liquidity, hence having a pre-sale first.
Yeah, that's what the pre-sale will really be for, is that inventory of ETH to let the dog out the door, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. So really, and this process can happen still really quickly. I left word with Elizabeth yesterday morning. I was hoping to hear back this morning, but still just waiting on that. So we can really get this going pretty quickly once we hammer out the details of the initial coin issuance. But then I think from after that, which, like you're saying, for the hub and spoke model, I think in the future this is a process we could do in-house with not too many aches and pains.
Okay. Do you know where Elizabeth is? Because
I think she's in Russia. I tried to find her. I looked her up on LinkedIn, and it took me to Russian LinkedIn. So, and she typically responds to my emails around 5 or 6 a.m. Eastern Standard
there's a big time lag. That's what I thought.
So
Only the case.
Yeah,
no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Where should we post this video? The one we're on right now. We can't put it on TikTok. It's too long. Can we turn it into a live event? Anybody know?
Good question.
I think that might have passed, at least for hosting a live event. I'd say retrospectively, we could at least maybe upload it entirely to YouTube and then maybe link it through TikTok.
Cool. Travis, you want to do that? You want to work on that? I'm pretty sure I have a Bruno YouTube channel, and I could forward the details to you for that.
Yeah, the intel, and I can put it up on there, no problem.
Lastly, if you guys think it's a good idea, since we're pretty close to being able to go live with the pre-sale, talk about a founders round, and then just articulate what Jack just said about the fact that we can go out the door with Uniswap relatively quickly. Let me just make this quick comment. One of the reasons I looked at Gnosis was I heard Vitalik talk about it. And I don't know a lot about this, but there's sort of a more controlled way to go live on Gnosis than there's sort of like batch trading. And I used to be a stockbroker, so I think about these kinds of things a little bit, but not a lot anymore. Where Uniswap is just like you're live and whatever happens, happens. So, and I think there's an issue with very lightly traded tokens that they can be front run. And that's one of the downsides to Uniswap. But as we do this with like 7, maybe we get to 10,000 followers, that's the eyeballs you need to make these things happen, right? You just need people who know what the hell you're doing so they can find you. So we have that on our side. But what else was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say Sunday, what I might just do is like a Q&A. You guys know the goofy guy on TikTok with the 2 girls with the face mask and the duck and everything? I forget his name. He's hilarious. But I was watching him do a live event. Yeah, they probably, the algorithm doesn't send that to you, Mel. We'll just leave that where that no, but I think what happens is you watch people join, that they can just throw questions at you like as fast as they can scroll by. And I can just sit there and just answer them one after another. That'd probably be a good use of people's time. And, introduce it as, hey, we're going to talk about the 3 things we have on the table, the founders round of pre-sale and the tokenization. We can just go through the Q's and A's as fast as we can. And, we don't need 7,000 people to get on that. We like 40 people who are truly interested and have a little bit of capital and have the real deep interest. So I think that's what we'll try to do on Sunday. And what else? What else should we hit between the eyes?
Let's see. We talked about who do you want to take over the email setup? I think that's a good idea to get that going soon.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We should just all shoot you what our name's going to be on it, or first initial, last name, whatever. We should just decide and get that going. Those are easy ones.
And why don't we make sure our LinkedIn's are squared away so we can put those on the website so they can find the team. And find
Is Bruno Fund set up on LinkedIn?
No, just me. But we
If I
should.
understood you, you want us to have ours squared away so we look presentable.
Yeah.
Our face needs to be updated.
Where did you let me just, part of the legal process will be bad actor checks.
Sorry, I'm getting a lot of lag again.
I'll repeat that. Not that it's for you, Jack, but part of the team of the insiders is at one point, as we start to register, they're going to want to know who are the owners, who are the partners, who have any sort of control. And then like the operational team, we have to do bad actor checks, possibly even fingerprints. That's just what you have to do when you play with other money. Standard procedure.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's probably good. I mean, we don't have to, that's perfect. That's half an hour. Lock and load on that, see if we can get on YouTube. Should we do a LinkedIn Bruno page? I don't even know. Is like LinkedIn a corporate thing or like just strictly individuals? I don't even know.
I don't even know. I don't know. I've seen only
Sorry,
individuals.
can you repeat that?
Yeah. Do corporations and organizations do a LinkedIn page? I thought it was just individuals, but I'm not terribly savvy.
Well, yeah. So your individual account, you link it to someone. It's more kind of like creating like a Facebook page almost and liking it.
I see.
So that's, yeah. So, we all have our own individual LinkedIns, but to actually say we work somewhere, or at least you can say you really work anywhere, but if it's linked to a company that has a registered page on LinkedIn, then it's another form of legitimacy.
Hey, Albert.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. We're going to try to wrap this up, but I'll just give you the review of things related to the work that you've done. Travis has done a nice job of putting a really solid, simple, strong website together.
Yeah, I saw.
The other thing we wanted to work on were emails. And so if Albert and Travis, if you want to sort of finish that up, what I said to everybody is we want to like open the store. We want like, all the tablecloths to be looking nice and silverware and everything has to be ready to go to serve pizza. That's probably the next big project as we get ready to actually move forward. And I also announced that we do have, it sounds like a pretty significant investor, someone who understands the project and has significant financial background. And so we're going to put this up on YouTube and try to do things all as transparently as possible, which is sort of the whole theme of all things Ethereum and DAO related. And so we're good to go. It's been a good week. Anything else?
I have a quick question. Does anyone on here know how many followers you need on TikTok to be able to go live? I think there's a minimum.
Oh, really?
I think so.
No, I've
I
already,
feel like I've seen accounts with actually fewer followers go live.
I've already gone live. I did that
Okay.
already.
Mhm.
300 people watched it, and I think the statistic that they gave me was I had 100% more traffic than the average live event, which is pretty good.
Mhm.
The idea is to attract the right people to the next one you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Well, and the algorithm. So as people are scrolling through and you come up recommended, the longer they stay and watch and engage with your live, the more it's going to recommend out to. So I think that's what we definitely have going for ourselves.
Yeah, it keeps pushing it up to the surface. Yeah, the last one I did flopped. I didn't have anything really interesting to say other than, hey, I'm going to a farm this afternoon. And so that didn't work as well. But my thought is like Sunday morning, it's time for a cup of coffee. If you're not going to church, you're going to read the New York Times or whatever. So it gives people time to sort of sit there and like go deeper into the project and like have a deeper discussion and a cup of coffee or a, Bloody Mary or whatever. So that's the approach I'm going to take on those Sunday morning things, unless they start to flop, and then we'll do something else. So
Hey guys, I started recording at 28 after, so we're probably gonna, I don't know how it cuts you off. So I think we're done for today, but I will get this together and shoot it, the recorded. Albert, this has been recorded. And I'm also taking notes and just doing minutes for each of our meetings. So I have a written and recorded account.
great.
Next week, Ashley and I are both available Wednesday and after. So if you'd shoot me your best times, I think noon.
Why don't keep, because so many people have so much going on, just keep Tuesdays and Thursday at 10:30 in mind. We don't have to do both days, but just like, subconsciously, those times are like the things that we'll try to shoot for. And it's sort of like a team huddle while people are working on other things in between.
Perfect.
Good.
Great. Thanks, Mel. Thanks for
Bye,
putting this
guys.
together.
Take care,
Bye.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Awesome, guys.